So I want to talk about this infrastructure bill and this bipartisanship that many politicians are coming out and saying we want to make this bipartisan. You have Senator Manchin saying we want to make it bipartisan. You have Senator Collins, who was on earlier today talking about this infrastructure bill, this bipartisan infrastructure bill. 1.2 trillion is what they have on the table, 600 billion of new spending. And I'm referring to the bipartisan group of senators. You have 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans, and they have this plan. And this is really interesting because when you look at the dynamics that we have here, you have Democrats, you have Republicans, they pretty much fight against each other when it comes to everything. And you still have a lot of Republican senators and Democratic senators who do not want to get along. And the main reason for that is because it's a power struggle. And when you really look at this and you say you want to make it bipartisan, well, that would mean that one person or one group would be left out of power. And right now in the Senate, you have the Republicans. They are not in power. You have the majority leader, Chuck Schumer, and the minority leader, Mitch McConnell. And so what Mitch McConnell wants is he wants to regain power. And the only way that he can regain power is by fighting against the Democrats and not allowing them to get what they want. And so you might say, oh, we have this bipartisan group. They're trying to work to get this stuff for the American people. But in reality, the Senate Republicans, the leadership, they don't want any type of a compromise. They don't want to make this bipartisan because that would help the Democrats the way they see it. They'll see the Democrats actually moving forward with this infrastructure bill with some help from Republicans, but it's not going to allow Mitch McConnell to regain power. And that's why Mitch McConnell said he's going to do everything he can to stop President Biden's agenda. And so when you look at this, I mean, you have to face the reality here. We have two parties that are not going to get along. Even if you can have a few in the middle that say, yes, let's work together, the vast majority of these politicians are not going to want to work together because it's a matter of losing power or gaining power. They're not going to want to work together. So when we look at this whole situation, this is what I think should happen at this point. We have Democrats that are controlling everything right now. They control the presidency, they control the House, and they control the Senate. They should be allowed to do what they want. And if it works, good for them. If it doesn't, then now you have Republicans that can come out and say, look, this didn't work, give us a shot. And then we'll see if the American people agree and give them a shot. That's the way it should work. Because right now what we're seeing is just jockeying back and forth, and we're seeing a lot of nothing. And this is a strategy. Both sides use this. The Republicans are using it now. The Democrats have used it in the past, where you just stall. That's all you do. You sit there when the Democrats come out with a proposal, you say, oh, it's not going to work because this, that, and we're not going to support it. Automatically. Sometimes these politicians don't even know what's in the bill, and they're already against it. That's just the way it is. And they're doing that because they're trying to stall. They don't want anything to get done because that's what they use in order to regain power. Look, Democrats were in power for 2 years. They didn't do anything. Give us a shot. And so at this point, just looking at this whole situation, and I want to pull up this quote. This is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She said this earlier on CNN. Do we settle for much less and an infrastructure package that has been largely designed by Republicans in order to get 60 votes? Or can we really transform this country, create millions of union jobs, revamp our power grid, get bridges fixed, and schools rebuilt with 51 or 50 Democratic votes? So that was AOC's quote there. Now, if you look at this, and I don't care if you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, just look at each side. If that side is in power, should they have that opportunity to go ahead and put their plan together and get it through Congress? Should they have that opportunity? Because if you give them that opportunity and it works, good for them. If you give them that opportunity and it doesn't work, well, then there will be consequences for that. But if you just do nothing and you kind of go back and forth, and nothing gets done, then we'll be looking at what we saw last year. We saw a stimulus package that was delayed for 7 to 8 months. And that's unacceptable when you have people that really needed the help. You had businesses that really needed the help. And they couldn't get it because you couldn't have Congress come together and vote for something for the American people. And we're starting to see it again, this infrastructure bill. This is very important. Just like she quoted, jobs. This is big for jobs. This is a time where people need to get back to work, and you could provide new employment, good paying jobs. We're talking union jobs. We're talking construction. But we have politicians that are going back and forth saying that they want to negotiate, but not bringing forward anything of real substance. They still haven't figured out how they're going to pay for this. Senator Collins was on earlier today, and she was talking about the pay-fors. And she already knows the White House has said no new taxes. Okay, no taxes at all on people making less than $400,000. But what does she say? She says, oh, yes, it's not going to be any new taxes, or it's not going to be any taxes. But she says there's going to be mileage fees for electric vehicles. Well, guess what? That's a tax. There are a lot of people, more and more people that have electric vehicles now. So now you're going to tax the electric vehicles. Oh, because they're not paying anything right now, so we're going to charge them an extra tax. What about hybrid vehicles? How are you going to approach that? That's another topic, right? So, I mean, when it comes down to it, the pay-fors, that's the important part. And we know Senator Collins has already put that out there as far as mileage fees. We already know that the White House is not for that. And so that means that this whole bipartisan bill that they're talking about right now in the Senate, it's not going to go anywhere. And so then we're going to have to move forward to see what else they're going to do. So at this point, and I've been saying this for the last 3 weeks, they need to move forward, reconciliation, go ahead and get this infrastructure bill, put it all in one. So the American Jobs Plan and the American Families Plan, both infrastructure bills, put them together and go ahead and push it through reconciliation. And ultimately, of course, they're going to have to work with Senator Manchin, Senator Sinema, but you can work with them. That's 2 people. Those are 2 votes that you can focus on, instead of focusing on these 10 extra votes that you're going to need from Senate Republicans. Because at this point, I don't think it's in good faith. I don't think Republicans are coming forward in good faith and saying this is what we want to do to help the American people. Because mainly they keep talking about user fees. They continue to talk about it. Okay, it's not going to be a gas tax increase anymore. It's just going to be this mileage fee. So those things are just not going to work. I want to know what you guys think about this. So in the comment section, let me know down below. I also want to make an announcement. So tomorrow morning and every Monday morning, I'm going to start doing kind of a coffee and stocks and coffee, I'll call it. And we're going to just watch the market open and talk a little bit about different events that are going on, and just make it kind of a more informal thing. It's going to be a live stream. I'll start it at 6:15 Pacific Standard Time, and it'll just be an opportunity for us to get the week going. So please join me, 6:15 Pacific Standard Time, live tomorrow. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys have any other questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.